Friedman, Polyphia. I mean, they're getting noticed in a new kind of way. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's her writing that makes it all for me. It really is with Konami. It's just her writing is like everything. Is
Same.
nobody.
But everyone in the band, like,
Yeah,
for every single person in the band, it's like that. It's like what they do is each member, what they do is like just on another level from any other band I've seen before.
How many lead guitarists still like actually like for you, Wave, like inspired you to do better writing? Mostly guitarists is like, oh, I gotta learn that technique because that's crazy. Like for example, Polyphia, you're like, fuck, I gotta learn that technique. Animals as leaders, I was like, damn, I gotta learn that technique because it's something unique. I've never had a lead guitarist like I watch a lead guitarist and be like, wow, I gotta learn how to write like that. Like that's
the thing. Like,
to me, I've never had that feeling of seeing a lead guitarist and going, oh shit, this actually inspires me to write rather than learn a new technique, which is weird for me at least.
What I realized when I was pulling apart From Now On and recomposing it and stuff is like you were just saying, her composition style is almost, it's like taking what we know about the attention span and like TikTok 6-second videos and all that stuff and integrate it into composition, because from now on, every 6 seconds, there's a new element she's introducing melodically. It's like constant attention grabbing. And there's like two specific melodies she returns to, like on the lead, but otherwise everything is fresh, never heard before in the song through the whole thing. It's just like genius composition.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just I've never thought about that before. Like I was like, I can't think of another guitarist, honestly. Like all the people I grew up listening to, there's always I don't know if it's the same for you guys when you were learning. Like what did you guys look for, or what made you like learn?
Complete opposite of you,
lead
honestly,
guitars?
man. Like what you just explained, I was the complete opposite. Like I don't think there's ever been a time that I was listening to a guitarist and been like, damn, I really want to learn that technique that the guitarist is doing. It's always been like, if I hear a guitarist I really like, it's because I like their writing, and that would get me to try to write like them. So I think we had like the exact opposite experience.
Let me rephrase that. It was more like, for example, when I heard Metallica, I was like, oh my God, I love this so much, the leads. And it was more like it just came with a technique. Like I had to get certain technique down to do those solos. I never really thought about the writing, I guess. Maybe that's what it was. But maybe I worded that wrong. But I don't know.
I totally see what you're saying though. Like you were like, in order to play like this, I need to be able to do what they do, right? Yeah. So you got to learn the technique before you could write
with Konami.
With that technique,
with Konami, I'm sitting there like my brain's breaking, like trying to figure out. Because with those solos, I could figure out where it's going to go. You know what I mean? It was instant. With Konami, it wasn't about the technique. I can do all the techniques that Konami's doing. The problem with her leads for me is that I don't know what the fuck's coming next.
Exactly.
With other solos, I could learn it faster. And I remember sitting here, I even told Larry, I'm like, man, I feel like a shitty ass guitarist. Like I thought I was fast at learning. Like, and this is taking me 7 hours to get this down. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I literally thought and then I had to think about it.
There's nothing wrong with you, dude. That's why I had to go back and I'm gonna go back and learn some fucking MAIDIAC. That shit I can do.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better about myself.
But like what Wave mentioned, I didn't think about that. But okay, the new Metallica song, I learned it. I made a video. I haven't put it out yet, but it was super easy to learn. Like it was a weird like technique. It took me a few times to get, but I knew what was going on like within seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Figured out within like 30 seconds, dude. I'm okay. This is what's going on. Took me a little bit longer to play it cleanly. And so I go to learn different. And for like 15 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, I didn't know what the fuck's going on. You try and pick one thing, but you can't just pick one thing. You have to like in the recording, there's not like just a riff that's doing this through the whole time. It's multiple things that make up this thing. with the bass and the fucking drums.
And it doesn't repeat that part till another minute and a half later.
So, yeah, it's that. I see. That's what you mean. Like when you had to learn a technique before, you were learning the writing because it's the writing that gives you the technique. But you can learn a part and you could have the song. Like you could play it and be like, yeah, that's this song. With BAND-MAID, you had to like play the whole fucking song. I mean, there's lead parts, but like in place of a riff, there's like a lead melody going over all these other complex rhythms and things that are going on. It's just a really different way of writing a song. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I always find the parts that get me the most when I'm listening to their songs for the first time aren't even like the solos that she plays, or even necessarily I love that they riff so much. Don't get me wrong. That's like my favorite part about BAND-MAID in general. There's not enough bands that just go out there and write fucking lead riffs like they do. But a lot of the times what really grabs my attention is the stuff that Konami will do during like the verses. That's like not the featured part of the song at that moment, but it'll be like some weird time signature shit that's going on. It keeps cutting in and cutting out, like a little lead, like influencer, right? Like she's doing like this do-do-do, and then she goes and you're just like, it's just happening in the middle of the verse underneath everything, right? Like it's so weird. That's the shit that really, because when she does that, I go, I don't know how you could write that like without like having the rest of your band there to help you write it, right? Because if you're just sitting there playing it by yourself, that sounds like shit. That's that it won't go along with everything, right? Like, but when you have the bass, giving you those root notes that you need, and the drums doing whatever Akane is doing to give it the timing feels that she gives it, then what Konami adds into there during those verses makes so much sense. That's the stuff that's super impressing to me.
I'm glad we're talking about this
so much.
Every week there's somebody that's like, always talking about BAND-MAID. It's like, yeah, this is why, dude. Because here's Nemophila. I love Nemophila. I want them to be huge. That you can listen to one of their songs and you pick out a riff, you learn the riff.
Yeah.
You learn the lead
5
part.
segments that repeat.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's easy shit. It's really cool stuff and I love it. It's just different. It's riff-based metal, which is fucking great. And then you try and go, BAND-MAID has riff-based stuff. The new stuff isn't like that. It's like
well,
like
a good example,
like 5 sections that repeat.
A good example of an older song, Moratorium. That is such a badass riff. That is like Dice,
like that too. It's just a great fucking riff.
But even that has still nuances, like it still has nuances in Moratorium that I was like didn't expect when I was learning that song. When I was like just breaking it down, learning the riff, I'm like it was like pull off Hammer On Madness, but it was like cohesive into a groove that I was like, this is so enjoyable to play.
I just love that they keep evolving their sound. Like they keep putting more effort into making their sound different and their composition better than it was before. Because this new stuff, like when I really dig into the stuff on Unleash and Unseen World and Sensi Pete, like it's just a different level of composition than anything I've heard from like World Domination and Conquer past stuff yet, like because of this.
Yeah. Because like that riff, like the like there's like a little pause in between that thing that you would not really hear. You would never hear that normally.
And hate. For more whatever that was, be sure to subscribe to Gaijin Guys and turn on the notifications so you can be part of the live stream every Sunday. You can also find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find more exclusive content on Patreon. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much.